So look, I've seen some of those statements this weekend, and we're going to continue to be very clear. We believe they're wrong. We believe they're repugnant, and we believe they're disgraceful. Our condemnation belongs squarely with terrorists who have brutally murdered, raped, kidnapped hundreds of Israelis. There can be no equivocation about that. There are not two sides here. There are not two sides. President Biden has been clear on where he has stood. You heard from him directly.
That was White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre yesterday with a sharp response to a question about lawmakers who have not issued full support to Israel. Several Democrats have so far only issued statements calling for a ceasefire and de-escalation. The Biden administration, meanwhile, is considering advancing U.S. aid to both Israel and Ukraine, and in doing so in a single package. Many House Republicans, however, have voiced skepticism of that idea. Joining us now, Democratic Congresswoman Sidney Kamlager-Dove of the state of California. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Let's start there with what we just heard from the White House press secretary, sort of calling out some lawmakers who the White House doesn't feel like have been appropriately supportive of Israel. What is your message to some of your colleagues who are sounding those tones?
I come from a district that has a very vocal and diverse, politically diverse Jewish constituency. I have said repeatedly I am in full solidarity with them as we stand with Israel against these terrorist attacks by Hamas. Last night at our Democratic caucus, people were united, and I think the president was crystal clear in our unwavering support of Israel, making sure they get the aid they need, making sure we're getting the hostages out, and making sure everyone is working in accordance, democracies are working in accordance with international law.
So certainly, though, the U.S.'s ability to support Israel is hampered by the lack of a Speaker of the House. We just talked earlier this show about that process. It, in some ways, begins in earnest today, but there's sort of an expectation that it may not conclude today. What is your sense as you talk to your colleagues across the aisle as terms of when we might see a new Speaker?
Well, Democrats are squarely 100% behind Hakeem Jeffries. You know, we are open to a bipartisan path forward, right? With the
I think some Republicans
Jeffries.
may push back on that.
That's true. But the reality is these Republicans are petty. They're petty and they're pyromaniacs, and they set fire to Congress at the worst time. Do I think they can get it together today? Absolutely not. They've proven that ego is far more important than the national security of this country or the security of our allies.
And what do you make of the two announced candidates, Jim Jordan, Steve Scalise? Do you think either of them would be an effective leader, someone you guys could work with?
No. So one is an acolyte of David Duke, and the other is a sycophant of Donald Trump. Neither of those folks, to me, would be palatable to my district, and I don't think either of them understand what it means to build consensus.
And certainly there are some who believe that neither of them can reach that number of votes needed. So let's talk about aid, though. We just mentioned the White House has floated the idea of trying to connect Israel and Ukraine aid. We know that there are some voices, there have been for some time now, on the Republican side, who are leery of sending much more money to Kyiv. This might be a way to do that. What is your, A, what do you think of the idea, and B, do you think it can pass?
I think it's a very strong idea. I think there are many Republicans that also support it as well. Enemies do tend to work together. We know that Hamas is responsible for these attacks against Israel. They have close ties with Iran. We also know that Russia is responsible for compromising the security, the safety, the sovereignty, the independence of Ukraine. They also have close ties with Iran. It makes sense that we work with our allies and our partners who are democracies and get them the aid that they need to upstand their countries and to beat back the terrorists, quite frankly, and the autocrats that don't care about democracy.
So, I mean, you just voiced it, a strong support for both Ukraine and Israel, strong support for democracies. But what sort of message do you fear it sends to the rest of the world when they look at Washington and they see this infighting? And again, we'll put it squarely on the House of Representatives, the Republican-led House of Representatives, that can't come together with a speaker or an aid package. What are your worries about the message that sends to the rest of the globe?
I think it's incredibly destabilizing. It's emboldening our enemies, and it's raising real concerns for our allies and our partners. You know, I'm concerned that Europe is saying, hey, I don't know that we can, bet on the United States anymore. And I just don't think that's a position that we want to see ourselves moving into.
All right, Democratic Congresswoman Sydney Kamlacher Dove of California. She sits on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. We're grateful for her expertise this morning.